One day I'm gonna not be awkward about this. This is Making It with Michelle. So I have a lot of stuff to talk to you about today. First, I want to start with a few thank yous. Number one, to my husband. This video production would not be possible without him. So I'm going to try to remember to thank him every episode, but I forgot last time. So double thank you to Amber today. Okay, some other thank yous are, a couple people had mentioned me. Well, first, of course, my friends Lisa, Black Coffee and Grits, Brooke, Stitched by the Brook, but some other people who don't know me personally, Cross Stitch the Glow mentioned me, which was very kind of them to do. So go check them out. I believe they're sisters, and they always have a lot of good content. They have a wide variety of videos. And my favorite one of recent has been the free autumn charts. So I watched that, paused it about every 5 seconds, and downloaded 37 other videos, or other free charts. So highly recommend that. And Contented Needleworker Kim had commented, and then she mentioned me on her video, and then she's tagged me a couple times on Instagram, and I'll show that project here in a minute. So thank you, Kim, you're a delight. And then my new BFF, her name is Magda. She doesn't know that she is my new friend, but she commented on my video, and she commented on my editing skills, and that just put a big smile on my face. So thank you, Magda. And she said hello to my mother. So, those are my thank yous. Of course, thank you to just any regular human who watches this video. Oh, and shout out to my friend Stephanie, who confirmed her name was Stephanie. Oh man, cracked me up. Okay, so anyways, thank you to all who have watched my video, commented, liked, subscribed. I can't believe that I have more than one subscriber who's not related to me. So, anywho, let's get to the stitching. So I have, oh my gosh, so many things to show you today. Oh, what is today? Today is, look at this. I had my notes and ignoring them completely. Today's October 27th. And it's been, I can't believe, a month. I thought it had only been 3 weeks, and that is not correct. Okay, so I am semi-prepared. Like I said, I have my notes, who I am pretending to ignore apparently. I, collected myself briefly for you all. I'm wearing my cute little pumpkin quilty shirt. I will, if I can get the links to work, my mother, who checks all these things out when I say, Mom, go look at my new video. She will check them out and hopefully they'll all work. So I'm wearing my little pumpkin quilty t-shirt. I have my new pumpkin Kendra Scott earrings. So, enjoy that. Okay. So, some of these are starts and finishes. In fact, I believe all of these are starts and finishes. Yes. Okay, first up is Autumn Swan. So this is by Brenda Gervais. I stitched this on 40 count sand by Picture This Plus. I did pretty much everything called for except I didn't stitch the words autumn and the little acorns at the bottom. I finished into this little pillow, and the trim is Mossy by Lady Dot Creates. And I finished this yesterday. Well, I made it to the pillow yesterday. So anyways. So that was fun. Next is Woodland Witch, also by Brenda Gervais. This is stitched on 40 count Hot Cocoa by Bestitch Me, and with the called for floss. I did change a few things. You might be thinking, oh, Michelle, did you take inspiration from Silly Stitches, who also did not stitch everything on the chart? Well, you might think so. But unfortunately, that is not the case. While I did love hers, and I thought, wow, that's really great. I had intended to stitch everything, and then I went to go trim my fabric and trimmed it wrong. Thus, a smaller version of the chart had to be stitched. So the main thing I did change was on top of her little, on top of her little big mushroom was supposed to be a jack-o'-lantern, and I did stitch the over one snail because I really wanted to stitch that. So anyways, 40 count Hot Cocoa by Bestitch Me, and slightly different version than what was called for. And here's my little backing, and that's so perfect. I still got my squirrels in. So, alright, and then this I stitched. This was again another start and finish. I stitched this with my friend Lisa, Black Coffee and Grits. This is Pumpkin Row by October Fiber House. And I stitched this on 36 count Aruba by Bestitch Me. And I used all the called for, and I put them on all the spots except that last one on the end. I changed the color. It was still one of the called for. Oh, here's my back. How cute is those little pumpkins? I love them. So finished that yesterday. It's so cute. And there was a new gal, a new friend on Instagram who also decided to stitch that with me and Lisa. So thank you. Her Instagram is dd something something something. I'll put it right here with my new editing skills. Okay. Those are my 3. Oh, okay. Then I went to the framer yesterday, which is part of why I maybe held off on this video, because I wanted to go to the framer and get my items back, and then I wanted to show you the glory and amazingness that is the framing. Okay, so first up is Throw Wide the Window by Shakespeare's Peddler, Teresa something. Shakespeare's Peddler, Kitten Stitcher. So I stitched this with the Tote conversion, and I stitched almost everything exactly how you're supposed to. Oh, I stitched it on 36 count French hen. There was supposed to be a year right here and some words right here, but when I got to the end, I didn't want to stitch the words. I didn't want to change the words, and thus a lovely line was stitched. So anyways, I love it. I think the framing is amazing. It is framed by the Peanut Gallery in Aubrey, Texas. Hopefully you can read that. And if not, I'll put it across. Anyways, it's perfection. I want to hang it where I can look at it every day of my life. Okay. And then, the creme de la creme is Feels Like Fall by Brenda Gervais in the most perfect frame there ever was in the history of the world. I stitched this with all the called for. I got the kit from Farm Girl Dry Goods, 40 count Thornfield. I will look at this every day for the rest of my life. It is beauty, perfection, incredible. This frame is amazing. It has this gold tint. It has the brown. It is amazing. So yeah, I wish I could just like boop, put it right here so we could all stare at it during the video, but I wasn't that prepared. Sorry. Okay, so those are my 2 very exciting finishes. Maybe I can take it like a picture of me with it, and that can be my whatever thing, thumbnail on YouTube, but we'll see. Okay, I do have a previous finish that I'm going to show later, so stay tuned for that. Okay, here's my board, my lovely duct tape board, to show some whips. I think most of these were already whips. I have a few new starts as well. Okay, first is, hold please. These are in no order at all. This is from the Winds of Autumn. This is Mighty Acorn. I think that's what it's called. Mighty Oak, Mighty Acorn. Thanks for watching me. Mighty Acorn. Thanks for watching me flip through that. So this is what it's supposed to look like eventually one day. It's very lovely. I stitched it on a brighter fabric, but I am using all the called for. And last time you saw this, I had hardly anything done. And somebody ragged me about it in the comments, but that's okay. Anyways, oh, and then a new friend commented and was like, oh, I'm stitching this. We should stitch this together. And I was like, heck yeah, lady. And get the dog hair off of it. So I did the border, and then I did the inside border. Oops. Sorry. So there it is. This is on 40 count white tee by Color and Cotton. And I am very proud of how much work I did on this. And that is actually how big it's going to be, because that's the whole border. So it'll be teeny tiny, but amazing. So I'm looking forward. I think I'm going to try to work on that in November, but I go where the winds of autumn take me. Okay, sorry. Okay, so there's that one. I enjoyed stitching on that. I don't know how many days, I don't know how many hours. I just did. Okay, then Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim, had commented on my whip parade and said, I'm working on this in October, you should too. And I said, okay, lady. So this is what it's gonna look like. And I was, as you might say, #mature, and I stitched my alphabet. Lisa and Stephanie are witnesses of this, because they were my cheerleaders as I worked on this. So there's my progress. I'm stitching this on 40 count straw flower by Lakeside Linen. And I feel like I did a lot of work. I did the alphabet and I started on that big basket. I did the bird one night and my husband was also a witness for that. So I'm going to try to work on this throughout the rest of October as well, but who knows? You'll see. You'll see why I don't do all the things I say I'm going to do. Okay, next is, I posted about this on Instagram. This is a new start. This is called Orchard Raven by Pigeon Coop Designs, Max Pigeon. And this was his kind of autumnal release. And this falls right into my Halloween plans because it is slightly spooky with the raven, but it's not going to freak me out in the middle of the night. So I'm stitching this on 40 count stream by Picture This Plus, I believe, or If I Were on a Whim, one of those. And I've done the bird. Look at that bird. He is very cool. And I love the purples that were used. I had started the apple, but I messed up the leaf right before it, above it. This is like one stitch too far down. And so I'm going to have to adjust the apple. And so I was like, well, I should stitch the bird next. So, yay! There he is. So I really like the blue background. I'm obsessed with blue backgrounds. Okay, next. Okay. Next was a new start. It's called Penny Autumn. And I had to receive validation from others in the cross-stitch world and my personal friends. Because I like the chart and I do like the border, but I don't know. I really like the house and I really like the pots and all the stuff next to it. So I asked permission to not stitch the border and I received that from many good people. So thank you to all who replied on my, now I did kind of bias the question and say would I be voted off the cross stitch island, and luckily everybody said no. So thank you for that. Okay, so I thought this would be the perfect companion to Feels Like Fall by Brendan Gervais. It has many of the same colors, so I am also stitching this on Thornfield because, okay, let me say this. I tried to stitch on a variety of dyers, just because as a newer stitcher I've never had no experience with hardly anything. So I got some Lakeside, I got Pictures Plus, If I Were on a Whim, blah blah blah. Thornfield, even compared to Lakeside by Needle and Flax, is the best linen I have ever stitched on. Lakeside is a close second, I will say that. And so now I'm obsessed and I must have more. So after I don't even think I finished stitching Feels Like Fall. I went back to Farmfield Dry Goods and I ordered another fat quarter of Thornfield. No idea what I was going to stitch on it. So I decided I'm going to stitch Penny Autumn. I have what's called a hanging thread. I've never had a hanging thread before because it's a new thing for me. Some of y'all have suggested that for my starts and stops criticism of not liking that. So anyways, this is where I am. I wanted to get to the house to make sure I could see the house. So I think you can see the house. I think it looks great on this linen, and I think the two right next to the others will look amazing. And maybe you can't see the white, but I can in person, and I think it looks great. I tried to pick kind of a darker spot as well on the linen, since I have a full fat quarter. This is the top, and I'm almost down to the bottom, so it's really not going to be that big. So I'm hoping it all works out hunky-dory. I think it will. Let me stare at it in front of you all. I think it's going to look great. So anyways, that's really fun, and I'm enjoying that. This might be what I work on most of November, but who knows? I have yet to trim that fabric yet. I did leave enough room for the border in case I did change my mind, because I'm allowed to do that. But just in case. Alright, next. I talked about coffee and eggs on my whip braid. And when I went into the framer, I live an hour away from the framer, so it's really hard for me to take a trip all the way out there and back and not drop off something else to frame. Eventually I will run out of stuff, like my backlog of stuff that I have to finish to frame will run out. And so I took two pieces that were kind of coffee themed. One I showed here last time, I believe, called Coffee and Pumpkin Pie, and I will stare at that again as well for the rest of my life. I absolutely obsessed with coffee, and my favorite pie of all time I could eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is pumpkin pie. So anyway, so I took that, and then I had previously stitched Starbarks by Plum Shoot Samplers, and I stitched that. That was one of the first things I stitched coming back in cross stitch, and so I think that was maybe my first chart that was not Lori Holt that I decided to stitch. So anyways, I finished that, and so I brought that with too. So then I'm like, my vision is I will have this beautiful coffee bar in my perfect house one day, and I will have a wall of cross-stitch coffee items. So I had two projects. One was Back to the Grind by Silver Creek Samplers, and then I had Coffee and Eggs. Well, I looked at Back to the Grind, and the chart was not calling to me, and so then Coffee and Eggs, I had planned to restart, and so I did restart it. So here's the pattern, and so my problem was either I was going to put it on a funky fabric like a blue, or I was going to change some of the colors, because I love the design, but red is my least favorite color of all time. It has its place at Christmas, and then outside of that, I'm not here for it. So I did change the colors. So let me show you. So it was on a 28 count, 2 strands. I'm over that. So now I'm on 36 count Wren by Picture This Plus. I had randomly ordered this, and I didn't like the fabric that I had picked it for. So anyway, so when I had restarted it, let me show you actually. Here was my first start. Let's just live in here on this little fabric. 28 count, something. And so yeah, so that's living in this bag. And so here's my restart. So I started in the same place, but I wanted to work down to the dress, which is where I was changing the colors. So the dress colors originally are red, a terracotta kind of salmony color, and a color called Autumn Spice. So I tried to match the tone. Let me get in there. So I'm doing fuchsia and blue. And orchid. So I hope you can see that. I'm really excited. I think it looks really cool, and I hope to have more progress. Maybe I can put it like that better. I don't know. I hope you could see whatever I was looking for. I think it was really great. I love the fabric color. I picked kind of a darker so that everything would pop on it, and that's where I'm at. Yay! So that was my restart. All right, let me put this back in this little bag. Okay, and then the last new start, hold on, ignore that, my old finish dropped off. Okay, now my last one was again a new start. I don't know what I was wanting to start something new. I wanted to make it easy. I was going to a quilt guild in the DFW area, and I wanted something easy to stitch on that I could like barely look at the chart. So I picked, I don't know if I have a cover photo. Oh, I do. Hold this. It's called Gather Mini Simply Signs by It's So Emma. Yeah, Fat Quarter Shop. And I have the board to put it on, so it needed to be a certain size count for it to like match or whatever. And so then I was having trouble with that because I don't buy that much 14 count anyways. Well, I think from Fat Quarter Shop I had bought, let's see, I had bought Oaken by Picture This Plus because I was incentivized by Lisa and Megan, and they had bought some Oaken and showed it on their videos, and I loved it. So I just bought it when it was on sale at Fat Quarter Shop. So this is my little start. This is all I stitched in one day, which I feel like is amazing progress. And I just stitched it at that guild meeting. So, and I think it looks really great. Oops. I'm doing it with the Classic Colorworks. There's a DMC conversion, but since the stitches are so big, I like the variegation, and I really like the dark fabric, and I think it looks really cool. So, not a ton, but something fun to work on when I need an easy stitch. There you go. Okay. So, take that off. Okay, so those are all my whips. Next on my notes is planned new starts. I don't have a ton of those. In fact, I only have, I think, one. So I don't know why I decided to have a whole note about that on my deal. But anyways, so I had kitted up a project a long time ago because I loved the colors, I loved the motifs, and just been chilling. And I needed apparently I needed an excuse to start it. I still don't know if I'm going to start it today, but anyways. So, Needle in the Haystack XO is starting today, Sunday, 10/27. A birthday Sal, and where you stitch any Jet X stitch, Jessica, designs. Well, I bought one back in who knows when. And if I don't have a cover photo, which I may not, I'll insert one here. But this is, okay, no photo. What is the name? Strawberry Mountain by Jet X Stitch. It's amazing. And it uses all DMC except for one overdyed. And when I bought the floss from Tote for Throw Wide the Windows, I bought the one floss from then, and then I bought the pattern, of course. So that is my one planned start. I don't have the called for fabric. I ended up picking Cinnamon by Be Stitch Me. It's really bright here, but I think you can kind of get the gist. And then let me just grab all. They're not on any sort of situation. Doesn't that look great? Anyways, they're all purples and pinks and oranges and blues and amazingness. And I think it'll look really good on this fabric. The fabric that she calls for is Brick by Fiber on a Whim. And I feel like this Cinnamon is a really close match to that. So I might start that today. I need to get more tags. I'm out of tags, and I need to order some more. But I might run over to Joann's if I feel like venturing outside of the house today, and go over there and get some so I can start this. Okay. Check. Haul. Okay, I do have a little bit of haul to show today, and so I'm just going to talk about a few things. One thing I am going to talk about is Audrey from Stitch Stitch Beat. Thanks so much. Also mentioned me in her video. Because I have this amazing stitch case from Starlight Stitching Co. and she went and looked and she bought something and I love what she bought. I ended up buying another one because the maker had a like 20% off sale for her birthday. And so there was a case that I'd been eyeing for a while, 20% off, free shipping, sold. Now, again, you might be thinking, Michelle, you could probably make this. Absolutely, but sometimes I don't want to make it, and I'm happy to buy it. So, this is my case from Starlight Stitching Co. It is Harry Potter themed. Look at that little, I don't know if you can see that, but this little glasses and the Harry Potter lightning bolt guy. Let me open it up. And this is what the inside looks like. And it's amazing and incredible. And I love it so much. I haven't put anything in it because I just don't know what I want to put in it yet. I mean, I do have like one Harry Potter whip, but I love Harry Potter all the time, and so I don't know what I'm gonna put in that, but it's amazing. I love the handles, and it was totally worth every penny. Okay, some other things that I bought recently, what semi-cross stitch related, was I went to this knitting store with my sister who was a big knitter called Juju Knits in Fort Worth, and this is the second time I've been there. Last year I bought similar items of like no knitting related. So I bought these little pumpkins. They're so cute. Look at that. And I plan on, you know, one day when I have beautiful decorated items, decorated areas in my house. What are they called? Beignets. I will put them in there as well. So then I bought these little guys. Of course, I picked up the acorn first, and then I picked up the leaf second. So one day they will go artfully and tastefully all together in a beautiful arrangement. But, you know, today's not that day. Okay. Then some things I actually bought yesterday that I wanted to show. One was this dish towel that I bought by Laundry Basket Quilts. And this is probably the closest I will ever get to making this quilt, which is a freaking dish towel. But I love it, and I'm interested. I love the colors, like that plum color is really amazing. And I think it's great. I'm interested in how good of an actual towel it is. But yeah, I thought that was really fun. Okay, and then the last thing I bought was stuff to make a new project bag. So I thought you guys would enjoy seeing this. So I always buy, so like when I buy stuff to make my little patchwork project bags, I buy a mini charm, and I usually buy a fat quarter and a half yard because I need a fat quarter for the outside part of the bag. So like, let me zip this up. This is Bountiful Blooms. So I use a mini charm for this part. I use a fat quarter for the back and then the top, and then I use a half yard for the lining part. So sometimes places don't have fat quarters cut, and I hate making places cut them for me. So I just bought my mini charm. I actually ended up buying a zipper and 2 half yards. So the mini charm is called Teddy and the Bears, and you can't see much from that, but this is gonna be my outside fabric. How cute is that? And then these little lightning bolts are gonna be the lining. And then I ended up buying this giant zipper, but it's like striped and it's this fuchsia color, and I think it's all gonna look amazing. So anyways, hopefully I'll have that done by the next video. Who knows? I'm in the works of making, okay, pause. Was that all the haul I was gonna show? Yes, okay. So I'm working, okay, so I am going to retreat like 2 weeks. I'm going to the attic for autumn abundance or something, and I wasn't sure. I think I mentioned that in my last video that I wasn't sure if I was going to this retreat. I never got charged for it, and I just like lived my life. And finally, it's been 2 months, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna call. Well, then they called me, and it all worked out, and I'm really excited and nervous. So if any of you are going to the attic in November 8th through 10th, please comment, let me know, because I'm not going to know a single soul. I am going in 2 reasons. Number one, I obviously want to go to the attic, but one of my best friends from graduate school, I went to graduate school in Arizona, in Flagstaff, Arizona, And one of my best friends that I made, lifelong friend, lives in Mesa, lives like 20 minutes away from the attic, and her and her husband just built a new house, so I'm going to stay with them at their house, and of course see my 2 friends from graduate school, and it's going to be amazing, and I miss them all the time. Allie and Ellery, thanks so much. And so I'm really excited to go see them and go to the attic, so it's like going to be the best weekend ever. So, so I am going to that retreat, so I didn't know that table gifts were really a thing. So like last year we went to StitchCon, and me and Mom just kind of showed up. And then all of our amazing table people made us these amazing gifts, and of course felt like the losers at the table. And I know it's not required, but we like to do stuff like that too, and we just didn't realize how big of a deal it was. So, so I'm working on little bags for them. Oh, speaking of, other people that have mentioned me were Amity and Aaron of the Hathaway Stitchers. Okay, phew, I was about to panic and not remember their name. They're amazing. They make me laugh literally out loud every single video. And they had mentioned a chart in their video one time, and I happened to have that chart, and I had finished stitching it, and so I reached out and I was like, hey, do you want this chart? And they were like, well, sure. And it was really, and I was happy to give it to them. It just didn't seem like one that my mom would stitch, and normally I give her half my charts. But so I sent it to them, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make them a little project bag. They are very generous, and they do giveaways every episode. One day, you know, maybe I'll do a giveaway. I wanted to have one for this video, but like I said, I'm making those other project bags. So I made them 2 little project bags, because like I said, Erin makes the project bags and they give them out all the time, and I was like, you know, it's nice to receive one in return every once in a while. So I made them 2 little project bags. Those are the bags that I'm going to make. They're not the full size bags that I like to make for myself. They're a little bit smaller. They can easily fit kind of like a 8.5 by 11 folded in half chart, and plenty of room for fabric and floss. So that's what I'm working on for my little table gifts. So I hope they come out lovely. I worked on them yesterday. It was a long day. But, so that's one retreat that I'm going to. Then I'm going to the Jingle Ball in December. Sadly, that's the weekend of all my finals that I'm giving. And so I didn't sign up for any classes Friday and Saturday. I signed up for one Saturday night, and the other 2 were on Sunday. But my previous finish is from Jingle Ball last year. So this, I have no idea what this is called. So this was the Liz Matthews class. Sorry, don't look at my face. Hopefully it's focusing. This was my first 36 count project ever. I was very nervous. So I went to the Stitch Niche. They helped me pick out this fabric. It's 36 count Bloop by Atomic Ranch. So then I started stitching it, and then I had messed up something horribly. So then I was really frustrated. So, okay, yeah, here's story time. So then I was taking this on a trip because I was going on to a work conference in Nebraska. So when I was in Nebraska, I went to Reflections Framing and Stitching in Bellevue. I recently went to their website. And they're amazing, and they have the best shop ever, and I hope if you're ever in Nebraska, you go to that shop because it's incredible. That's where I got some Lakeside. They are just amazing. So I went there, and that's where I picked out the Winds of Autumn book, and I stitched Nebraska Prairie. So that was like, but I finished that, and then I went back to this. So like I gained some confidence on the small project, and then I went back to the big project. Well, this project is not perfect because I had like messed up 5 times more. But I did the class, and this is my finish, and I look at it all the time, even when it's not Christmas, and I love it. I think I didn't do some extra back stitching. Maybe I did. Yeah. But anyways, I think it came out great. And I think you can get this now, this pattern. If not, I'm sure you can get it soon because it came out last year, Jingle Ball. So there's my one and only tree, cross-stitched. Okay. So that's Jingle Ball. Then the other retreat I'm going to well, okay, there's 2 more, but the next one that I'm really excited about is in April. I'm going to Hobby House, and I'm so excited, and Plum Street's gonna be there, and Heartstring Sampler's gonna be there, and I get to go to Hobby House, and Brenda and Laura are gonna be there, so I'm gonna fangirl it up, and it's gonna be great. So I'm going to my top, like, bucket list destinations this year of the attic and Hobby House, so I'm really excited. So if you're going to Hobby House in April for the Brenda and Laura, I'm calling it the Brenda and Laura retreat, leave a comment, let me know. I think my friend Brooke is going, my mom is going with me, so I'm really excited about that, and it's gonna be great. Okay, and the last retreat I'm going to is well, hopefully 2 more retreats next year. One, the Chatterbox at Boxcar, and then I'm going to the Jeanette Douglas retreat at the Silver Needle in Tulsa. So, yay. Okay. Next. Okay, so that's all the cross stitch, pretty much. If I randomly talk about some more stuff, sorry. And so I'm gonna have a little bit of quilting I wanted to talk about, but let me talk about the one kind of quilting cross stitch crossover here. Yesterday I did make a bag. This is my bag. So this block is by Fat Quarter Shop. It's So Emma. It's a free pattern. I used all my scraps. Everything came from my stash, which was kind of nice. So you can imagine how large my stash is. And I finished making the bag yesterday. I pieced the block, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. It just stared at me. So this is Tilde fabric. It was perfect, obviously. The inside lining is also purple, hard to believe. So I made this bag special. My mom is making one as well because next year we are planning to stitch the Wisteria House, Wisteria Lane series. So since this is a huge pattern, go to Pansy Patch and Quilts to go look at what it all looks like together. They're purple, they're houses. I literally can't ask for much more. So it needed its own bag. I'm working on getting all my patterns. I went to the Stitch Niche the other day and bought all the floss. I am going to do it as one piece. So then I bought the called for, this is actually 40 count fawn by Picture This Plus. I don't know. You guys probably know better than what fawn looks like. It's very brown, tan fabric. I got it from Hollis Hands Creates. And I'm doing it on fawn, or on 40 count, so that way it'll fit on a fat quarter. Mom, I think, is doing hers on 18 count fawn by Picture This Plus. So that is going to be one of the things I really want to stitch next year. It has its own beautiful special bag. So I'm really jazzed. I put my little tassel on here. I couldn't get it on the zipper. I don't know, I was struggling last night. And so then I put this little ball on here too. So, new bag. Love it. Can't wait to start that next year. I think we're going to start, we talked about starting it like January 1. So, I don't know. Stay tuned. Oh, maybe that was supposed to go under Playing New Stars. I don't know. Anyways, that's my quilting cross-stitch crossover. Okay, so the other thing I did yesterday was, well, I worked on those bags. I made that other bag. Then I met up with my mom and my sister and a friend of ours, Rachel. And I bought my Bernina 570 QE in 2020. I bought it at QuiltCon. And it's the Tulip Pink version. Anyways, so I loved it because I love Tulip Pink. My machine was born in 1987, and I told my husband I'm never going to buy another sewing machine again. So far, I've held him to that. He's held me till then. And it came with an embroidery module, and I was like, I'm never going to use this embroidery module. No, I have no interest in it. Well, Rachel recently got the 570 QE, the Cape version, and she was interested in the embroidery module. And my mom has done lots of machine embroidery. She took all these classes, and so she was like, why don't we get together? There's a place in Dallas called the Best Little Retreat Center in Texas, and you can like pay $30 and you spend the whole day up there, 12 hours, get together with your pals, and it's really great. And it's near a bunch of places to eat. There's some quilt stores not too far away. There's a quilt store in the retreat center. Anyways, I'll If I can link, I'll link it down below. But anyways, so we got together. Mom showed me how to use my machine embroidery, and this is what I made. I made this little bag. Isn't that crazy? So if you were on my Instagram yesterday, I filmed like a little thing because I had zero expectations for myself, and it came out lovely. I think it's the cutest little thing. I don't know if I'm gonna make any more bags, but I do have plans to make a little pillow. So let me show you what the pillow looks like. So I didn't make this, Mom made this, and she has this little metal thing that she hangs these on. That's what these little ribbon things are for, and she made the wrong size. So she gave this to me, so I'm gonna hang this up somewhere in my home. But there's like a smaller version that I can make, and so I want to make that and put it with all my other little pillows. I think it'll be super cute. So thanks, Mom. And one day I will make this too. So yeah, it's super cute. And now that I made this, and I like read the instructions and I followed all the stuff, I feel very confident like I could make this today, which is maybe what I'll do later, but yay. Okay, so then next up in quilting land, Mom quilted some stuff for me, but a long time ago she quilted this little table runner for me, and it's very fall-esque. Not really, it doesn't scream fall, but and I finally put the binding on it, so it's very skinny. My table that I'm sitting at is a square, and I just like make stuff. I don't typically make up my own pattern or alter things in quilting patterns. I mean, might make like 4 blocks instead of 12 or whatever, but something like this, I didn't even think to make it a square to work on my table. But we have this high counter that's really thin, and this fits perfectly on it, so that was very exciting. So here's the fabric. It's Harvest Road by Lella Boutique. Again, one of my favorite fabric designers. I got this from Boxcar Quilts during the spending of 2020 where they had Facebook Lives, and I wanted to buy everything, and I bought a lot of stuff. So this is one of the things, and now it's done. Yay me, only 4 years later. So the binding's not perfect in terms of color, but whenever I make a quilt and I do a binding, I buy like either half a yard or a yard, and I just make the whole thing up as binding, and I just store the leftovers. So that way for little things like this, I already have binding made, and I just have to pick something that matches. So thanks, Mom and me for putting the binding on. Okay, and then Mom had quilted 2 other things for me very recently. This was like a little bit ago. So let me show you this. This is called Posh Santa. Posh Snowman by So Kind of Wonderful. And I had sewn this like, I don't know, a year ago, and Mom had talked about quilting something for me, and we talked about the Santa, and she did an amazing job. If you can see the little snowflakes, and it's so cute. And if you're interested in doing curves, I recommend the So Kind of Wonderful pattern, especially a small one like this. There's not that many curves in general on this pattern. And the nice part about their patterns is you sew it and then you trim it. And so that way when you trim it, everything comes out perfect. Now you do have to buy a ruler, but in my opinion, I made another pattern and I made this one. So I've already used the ruler 2 times, and I have no regrets in the money that was spent on that ruler. And I think this used the mini one. So I have no regrets. I think I bought the background and maybe this. All the other fabrics came from my stash, and so, as did the backing. It was just left over from something else. So I'm really excited that that's done, so that I can hang it up this year. So that's kind of my exciting piecing. But then I saw Mom, she met me in Aubrey to pick up my framing, and she was like, look, I did this for you. And this is just a panel with the border. So it's really cute. She did this really sweet little snowflake pattern on it. And really, like I said, literally a panel, and I put a little border on it, and poof, it was done. So I'm looking forward to hanging this up as well somewhere. what does it say? 'Tis the season to be merry. So, those of you people that are new into quilting, that is the easiest thing you could ever do. Buy a panel, trim it, and put a border on it. So, well, oh, one more thing before I forget. I have a whip. So, I had not been doing much quilting lately because, again, of the whole obsession with cross stitch. So, but I had bought stuff for a new pattern, for a new quilt. So this is the pattern. It's called Cake Walk by Dimple Blossoms. And it's super easy, squares and rectangles. What more could you ask for? Well, I had gone to Boxcar. So normally when we go to Aubrey, we go to the Framers, then we go to Boxcar because it's like 10 minutes away. I've already driven an hour, people. Why would I not go to this quilt store? So I'd gone there, and they had a quilt made up, and it was really cute, in this pattern and in this fabric. So they are using the Teresa Kogut Bittersweet Farm, and I decided to do the same thing. So you make two types of blocks. You make the 9 patch that looks like this, and then you make this other block, and you basically alternate them back and forth. So Boxcar did like the green background. I liked this kind of caramel color. Let me see if I guess that looks all right. It's like a light brown. And so that's what I'm working on. And these are, I just started with 2 blocks of each kind. There's a bunch of half blocks, and so I made all of those. And then now I'm actually finally just like chain piecing. It just took me a while to get there. I had it all cut out. The cutting was really easy. Use a layer cake and some yardage. And so use a layer cake and then 2.5 yards of background. So it's pretty good. It comes out to be 63 by 69. So anyways, I imagine this will get lots of views in my house because it's very easy and I like easy. I every once in a while, like I used to think for quilting, like it had to be super complicated or it was blech. And now I'm like the exact opposite, and I'm like squares, rectangles. What more could I ask for, people? So I'm enjoying this pattern, and it was really lovely at Boxcar, and so I'm excited for my version. So that was kind of my other plan today, was to work on those bags for the retreat. I did actually have a purpose for going to Boxcar on Friday. I needed to get zippers for these little bags, so I did buy those. I did buy something else which I didn't bring out here, but it's irrelevant. So anyways, I guess that's it for me. Again, thank you to everyone who has ever watched one of these little videos. And I appreciate you, and happy stitching. Bye.